Bokuto held Akashi's hand as they entered the second-hand furniture store, Kuro and Kenma following behind. He looked around the big room filled with all kinds of furniture and styles, and he wondered what treasures might be hiding in odd places. Bokuto let Akashi lead him across the room to some drawers that had caught his eye. "I like the look of these, what do you guys think?" Stepping forward, Kuro pulled on one of the drawers to open it, which turned out to be a lot more difficult than it looked, eventually opening it halfway with a loud squeak. "Yikes, maybe not. That's a shame, it's a good size and the wood looks really nice. Yeah, maybe we could get it fixed somewhere. The whole point of getting things second-hand is so we don't have to spend so much money." "Yeah, good point, let's keep looking then." Bokuto looked around and saw something that caught his eye, a table with a display of fancy-looking plates and teacups with little paintings on them that he couldn't quite make out. He tried to get a closer look, but he was stopped after 2 steps with a firm grip on his hand still trapped in Akashi's. "Bokuto." He turned around to look at Akashi with the most innocent smile he could. "Yeah. Where are you going?" "I just wanted to look at those plates with the tiny paintings on them." "You remember what we came here for? To buy more furniture for our new apartment." "Yes, and we don't need plates with tiny paintings, so can we concentrate on things we actually need?" "Ah, fine." Bokuto sighed and followed Akashi as they continued looking around the store. Kuro came up to Bokuto's other side and nudged him with a grin. "Someone's in trouble." "What? No, I'm not." "Are you sure about that?" "I'm not, right Akashi?" "Not yet." Kuro choked out a laugh, only laughing harder when Bokuto pouted at him and Akashi gave an unimpressed look. "It's not my fault that drawers are boring. They're not just any drawers, they're drawers for our new apartment. Aren't you excited to be moving?" "Of course I'm excited, there are just much more exciting things about moving than old furniture." "I agree. See, Kenma gets it? What, you don't think this is exciting?" He gestured to the closest thing to him, an old-fashioned wooden chair with questionable bright patterned fabric. "Nope, definitely not exciting." "Hey Kuro, come look at this." At some point Akashi had let go of Bokuto's hand and ended up a few paces ahead. Once the others had caught up, Akashi and Kuro started inspecting another set of drawers while Bokuto and Kenma stood and watched. After a minute of half paying attention then zoning out and looking around, Bokuto leaned down to whisper to Kenma. "Hey, do you wanna go wander around with me?" "Sure." They quietly snuck away from their boyfriends, Akashi and Kuro, noticing but letting them go since they probably weren't going to be much help anyway. Now where were those plates with the tiny paintings? "Is that them over there?" "Oh yes." They looked at the plates for a bit, then continued to wander around the store looking at random things. When Bokuto spotted a shelf full of knickknacks he immediately ran over. He had to wait for Kenma to walk the rest of the way, but then he could point out all the cool or strange ornaments on the shelf. "We should totally get some for the new apartment, do you think Akashi and Kuro would let us?" "I think that depends on what it is." "Yeah, we should get something that we all like cats and owls. And something that's not too ugly." "They're not ugly, they have character." Kenma gave him a look, shaking his head with a small smile. "Anyway, keep an eye out." "Okay." There were a few lucky cats around, but Bokuto was looking for something more unique. He searched the high shelves while Kenma looked in the backs of the low shelves until they each found something. "Oh, look at this." He took a little wooden owl off the shelf and held it out to Kenma. "It's kind of creepy." "Is it?" He turned the owl to get a closer look at it and tilted his head, mimicking the owl's pose as they stared at each other. Kenma let out a small laugh, making Bokuto perk up. "Actually, I think it's cute, it looks like you." Bokuto wasn't sure if that was supposed to be a compliment or not, but the implication that Kenma thought he was cute was good enough for him, so he smiled brightly. "Let's get it then." "Okay, I also found these." Held carefully in Kenma's hands were 4 little cat ornaments, all in different colors and poses. Oh, they're so precious, I love them. One for each of us. Perfect. Bokuto watched Kenma fondly as he smiled at the collection of cats, feeling the sudden urge to pick him up and hug him, so he did. Whoa, hey, careful. Kenma's arms were squished in Bokuto's grasp as he tried to not drop the cats, Bokuto giving him a kiss on the cheek before letting him down. Sorry, you're just so cute. Kenma rolled his eyes and looked away, his face was starting to turn red. Whatever, let's go see if Kuro and Akashi are done yet. He spotted their boyfriends across the room and went over to them, Bokuto happily following behind. Kuro and Akashi seemed to be engrossed in a conversation about lamps, stopping when they noticed the others arriving. There you are, did you two have fun looking around? Yup. We found these. Kenma held out his cats and Bokuto showed off his owl, earning a laugh from Kuro. Akashi picked up one of the cats and gave Kenma a soft smile. They're very cute, you want to get them? Yeah. Okay, I'm sure we can find somewhere to put them. He handed the cat back to Kenma and put an arm around him lovingly. Are you guys done yet? Nearly, if I can convince Akashi that we need 2 lamps so they can be symmetrical. Unless you're going to make everything in the house symmetrical, I don't see the point. But lighting is the most important thing, so it needs to be symmetrical. That makes no sense. But there are 2 lamps that are exactly the same, we can't pass up this opportunity. It could be nice to have matching lamps even if they're not symmetrical. Yes, thank you. Alright, fine, we can get both. Okay, are we done now? Yes, we're done. Yay. They went to the cashier to pay for the small things they could carry and got one of the staff members to help them carry the bigger things to the car they were borrowing from Kuro's mom. Once everything was securely in the car, they drove to another nearby furniture store. This store sold a wide range of specialized beds, so they thought they had the best chance of finding a big enough one here. Whoa, this place is huge. I've never seen so many beds in one place before. Where do you think the giant ones are? Let's just have a look around and see if we can find them. They made their way around the store, Bokuto looking around eagerly for the biggest bed he could find. After all, this was the thing he was most excited for about moving, they could finally share a room with a bed big enough for all 4 of them. When he finally spotted what he was looking for, he ran over and jumped on one of the huge beds. While he waited for his boyfriends to catch up, he lied down and spread out on the bed, closing his eyes. A moment later, he was caught by surprise as Kuro jumped on him. They both started laughing as they rolled around and wrestled on the bed. Seriously guys, we're in public. What, we're keeping it PG? Kuro stared at Kenma with a serious look as he had Bokuto pinned under him, wriggling around and trying to get free. Just please try to take this seriously and don't get us kicked out. We are taking it seriously, we need to try out the beds. Yeah, come and join us so we can figure out if we all fit. Akashi couldn't help letting out a smile before kneeling on the bed and pushing Kuro off of Bokuto. If we're testing the space, then you can't be on top of each other. Okay, fine. Akashi held out a hand to pull Kenma onto the bed as well, and they all lied beside each other. They had to be quite close, but they just managed to fit. This might be okay, but I think we should keep looking. I like it, it's cozy. A bit too cozy, I don't have a lot of room to move around. Who needs to move when you can just have cuddles? I feel that on a spiritual level. Come on, let's see what else there is. He got up, followed by his boyfriends, and went to look at the stand with the prices and information on the bed. Looks like this is a Wyoming King and it's 220,000 yen for the mattress. Whoa, that's a lot. Yeah, I was expecting it to be expensive, that's why we've been saving. Well, it'll be worth it anyway, right? Yeah, definitely. After Akashi had taken some notes on the bed, they turned to keep looking when they saw a salesman come to greet them. Hello sirs, Are you looking to buy today? Yes, we are. Is there anything I can help you with? What's the biggest bed you have? The salesman seemed to hesitate for a second before answering, as if he was unsure whether Bokuto was serious. Oh, that would be the Alaskan king. He gestured further down the row they were in, which seemed to mostly have fancy high-tech and oversized beds. The salesman led them down the row to show them the Alaskan king, which made the Wyoming king look tiny in comparison. This is the largest standard size on the market. We can do bigger custom sizes as well, but they're often a large investment. Bokuto's eyes were almost as wide as the bed as he tried to take it all in. Whoa, this will definitely be big enough for all of us. The Alaskan king is designed to comfortably fit a family of 2 adults and 3 or more children. Bokuto climbed onto the bed, not paying much attention to what the salesman was saying. The others followed and all lied down, the bed big enough to leave plenty of space between them and in all directions. Wow, there's so much room. Almost too much. You guys seem far away. It does seem a little overkill. Akashi got up to check the price, 450,000 yen. And a little over expensive. We might be able to negotiate a lower price, especially if you're interested in a bed frame and linen as well. Okay. If you would like to consider other options, we have some lovely king-size beds I can show you. No thanks, we need something to fit 4 people. The salesman looked between the 4 of them with a confused expression. Will you be using the whole space regularly? If not, I would recommend a smaller standard size. Yeah, we're gonna be sleeping together, so. Seriously, Kuro? What I meant literal sleeping. That's not. Just please stop talking before I die from embarrassment. Okay, sorry. The salesman was still just standing there awkwardly, not sure how to respond to the situation he was witnessing. Do you have something in between this and the Wyoming king? Oh yes, we have 2 other extra large sizes, the Texas king and the Alberta king. He looked relieved to have a transition back to talking about the beds, and he showed them the other sizes so they could try them. The Texas king was wide enough, but the length was getting a bit close for Kuro and Bokuto, while the Alberta king fit pretty well, being about halfway between the first 2 they had tried. My favorites were the Wyoming and the Alberta. I think the Wyoming was a bit too small, but the Alaska was very big and very expensive. I'd be happy with the Alberta or Texas. Yeah, I think the Alberta is a good middle ground. I'm happy with the Alberta. Okay, sounds like that's the winner. The Alberta kings are custom ordered, so you can choose which mattress type and any accessories you would like. After a long process of choosing everything, they had finally put in their order and organized payment and delivery. It ended up being very expensive, but they hoped it would be worth investing in a good bed they could use for a long time. They then made their way back to the car, having had enough furniture shopping for today. That poor sales guy was so confused. Yeah, it's like he's never sold a bed to a polyamorous quad before. I guess we're quite different from the target market of a family with 3 kids. We're still a family though. Yeah, why don't they design beds to fit 4 grown men? Seems homophobic. I'm just glad that experience is over. On the day they were moving into their new apartment, Bokuto and Kuro had been assigned to help the movers and start setting things up. Meanwhile, Akashi had a shift working at the library, and Kenma decided to sit in the library as well since he couldn't stay home and didn't want to be around the movers. Both Akashi and Kuro had started part-time jobs towards the end of the school year when they had decided they were going to move to a new apartment and try to be financially independent. Kenma had also been saving the money he got from streaming and YouTube, while Bokuto didn't have time for a job with volleyball as well, even though he felt bad being the only one. Akashi sat at the front desk for most of his shift. Kenma had sat at a table in his line of sight, so they kept stealing glances at each other. Whenever there were books that needed putting away, Akashi was happy to volunteer so he could check up with Kenma on his way past. When his shift was over at 4 p.m., Akashi collected his things and headed over to Kenma. Hey. Oh hey. My shift's over, you ready to go? Yeah, just let me save this. Okay. Kenma saved the video he was editing on his laptop and put everything back into his bag. He stood up and smiled at Akashi, who put an arm around him and kissed his cheek before they headed out of the library. They took a train a few stops to their new apartment and saw that the moving trucks had gone. As soon as they knocked on the door, they heard loud footsteps running before the door swung open to reveal a smiling Bokuakakuro not far behind. Hey, welcome to our new apartment. Thank you. Come in. Bokuto stood aside and Akashi and Kenma came inside and took off their shoes. How was the library? It was good. It was nice having a pretty face to stare at all day. Kuro laughed and grinned at Kenma, who tried to make a grumpy face, but the blush wasn't selling it. Who wants an apartment tour? I would love one. Great, follow me. Bokuto turned around to gesture to the hallway, the others playing along even though they had already seen the apartment, but only Kuro had seen it with their stuff inside. This is the entrance, and straight ahead is the hallway and the stairs, and if you look to your left you will see the living room. We put in all the furniture from our old place except the TV isn't set up yet. Do you want me to set it up? Oh yeah, then you can set up your consoles too. Let's do that after the tour. Okay. And I put our little cats and owl ornaments on the TV stand. He knelt down by them to pet each one on the head before moving on. Next you will see the dining table, then the open plan kitchen complete with a fancy breakfast bar. It's not actually that fancy, it's just cool to have one. Yeah, and we also have a back door to a little outdoor area. There's nothing there yet, but we should find something to put there. Like a garden gnome. And deck chairs. We can think about that later. Okay, so that's everything downstairs, now let's go up. Following Bokuto's lead, they went back through the living room and up the stairs. To the left we have the bathroom, not much exciting in there, and then the next door is the spare room / office. He opened the door so everyone could see what was inside. There's Kenma's desk and PC, which you will also have to set up, and another desk with lots of storage space for uni stuff, and Kuro and Kenma's old queen bed for if we have guests or if one or two of us want to sleep separately. That'll probably be used by me the most if I'm working late. Yeah, and it'll be good to have another room when we have threesomes or twosomes and not everyone wants to be in the main room. For fuck's sake, Bo, I told you it's not called a twosome. Then what is it called? It doesn't have a name, it's just normal sex. But it's not any more normal for us than threesomes or foursomes, so it needs a name. It doesn't need a name, just say sex with two people. What, so 3 and 4 get their own name but 2's not good enough? Come on guys, back me up here. I refuse to be a part of this. Me too, just call it whatever you want. Ha, so that means you can't tell me it's not a twosome. Fine, whatever, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Good, now we've got one more room. He pushed past the others, stepping across the hallway and opening the last door. Ta-da, the master bedroom. The room was a decent size, but most of it was taken up by the huge Alberta King bed pushed against the far wall. Wow, how did you even get the bed in? It came rolled up, but the delivery people still struggled to get it up the stairs. You even made the bed with the new blankets. It was a mission, I'll tell you that. Come lie down on it. Bokuto jumped on the bed and the others followed, all cuddling as they rested for a moment. How far did you get with unpacking? Everything's in the house but not necessarily in the right place. The boxes are mostly in the right rooms but we haven't taken much out of them. Okay, we should probably just try to unpack the urgent things we need for today. And I can set up the technology. That would be great. Once they finally had the motivation to get up, they spent the rest of the day unpacking and setting up what they could. Kenma was the first to give up, tempted by the newly connected consoles just waiting to be played, and Bokuto soon snuck off to join him. Akashi and Kuro did their best to keep going, but after such a long day, they only ended up doing another hour of unpacking before joining their boyfriends on the couch. I don't know about you, but I definitely don't feel like cooking dinner. Akashi leaned into Kuro as he put an arm around him, Kenma sitting in Bokuto's lap while they played a two-player game on the TV. I vote we get takeout. Any ideas? I think I saw a pizza place around the corner. Sounds good to me. What do you guys want? Meat. You pick. Well, that's easy. Do you wanna come with me, Akashi? Sure, it'll be nice to have a walk around the area. You too sure you don't wanna come and see if there's anything more specific you want? Can you get a dessert? What kind? Anything with apple or chocolate. Okay. Kuro got up, pulling Akashi up by his hand, and they headed out to get the pizza. It was only about a 10-minute walk to the little collection of stores and takeaway restaurants around the corner. They would probably get a lot of use out of them. Once they got their food, they walked back together in the cool evening air holding hands and warm boxes until they arrived back at their new apartment. We're back and we have food. Oh yay. Good timing, I just bet Bokuto again. Hey, I was close this time. Not close enough. I'm sure you'll get it next time, Bo, but for now we've got a meat lover's pizza with your name on it. Oh yes, gimme. Kuro handed the meat lover's pizza to Bokuto and laid out the rest of the food on the coffee table with Akashi's help. Did you get a dessert? Yup, they didn't have anything with apple, but we got 2 lava cakes to share. Thanks. Kenma reached for the dessert box, but Kuro pushed his hand away. Nope, you have to have some pizza first. Ah, fine. Let's watch something while we eat. Okay. With one hand still shoveling pizza into his mouth, Bokuto switched the TV to Netflix and picked an episode to watch. After dinner, Kenma went up to the office to continue editing his video, saying it would probably take a while. The others just spent some downtime together in the main bedroom, Akashi trying to read his book while Bokuto and Kuro chatted. A while later, Akashi decided to move to the office and sit with Kenma instead. Hey, how's the video going? Okay, I've still got a bit to go though. Do you mind if I sit with you and read my book? Yeah, that's fine. Were Bokuto and Kuro too annoying? Well, they're about to get too distracting. They said they were going to test the new bed. Wow, the first twosome, huh? No, that sounds weird when I say it. Haha, well, they said you were welcome to join if you want to. No thanks, I'd rather not be a part of their testing. Fair enough. The two of them sat together quietly for another hour or so until it was getting late. I think I'll head to bed now. Okay, good night. Good night, don't stay up too late, okay? Okay. Akashi got up and gave Kenma a kiss before getting ready for bed and joining his other boyfriends. Bokuto was sound asleep and clinging to Kuro, who was scrolling on his phone, and looked up when Akashi entered the room. Heading to bed? Yeah. How about Kenma? He's going to keep working for a bit. Okay. Akashi crawled into bed beside Bokuto, kissing his cheek and leaning over him to kiss Kuro as well before settling down. Good night. Good night. Soon after, Kuro was getting tired too and put his phone away. After carefully freeing himself from Bokuto's grip, he went to check on Kenma in the office. He hugged Kenma from behind, leaning down to wrap his arms around his waist and kiss his neck. Are you coming to bed? Soon. Is that a real soon or a few hours soon? I'm not finished. You can finish it tomorrow. Don't you want to come fall asleep with all of us in the new bed? Okay, fine, I'll be there soon, a real soon this time. Okay, I'll come check on you if I don't see you in 5 minutes. I'll be there. Kuro smiled and kissed Kenma once more before going back to bed. True to his word, Kenma came into the bedroom a few minutes later and settled in beside Kuro. Good night. Night. With all his boyfriends in reaching distance, Kuro felt a sense of happy fulfillment as he slowly fell asleep.